Welcome to Focal Point News, your source for campus news, breaking headlines, and in-depth stories that matter. Coming up on Focal Point.
There's a new vintage store in town, and in fact, I'm standing right in front of it. But what makes this one different from the rest?
Find out how WKAR responds to federal budget cuts.
An up-and-down week for MSU sports with 2 wins against Michigan.
From the heart of Michigan State University, Focal Point starts right now.
Good morning and welcome to Focal Point News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Braden Willis.
And I'm Ryan Morris. It's October 3rd, 2025, and with this new month comes updates from the federal level.
Yes, we start today with President Trump making a major announcement recently on autism, claiming it could be linked to the use of Tylenol by pregnant women. Focal Point's Michaela Mazza spoke with local health professionals to get their perspective on this claim.
I want to say it like it is. Don't take Tylenol. Don't take it. If you just can't, I mean, it's fight like hell not to take it.
In a recent press conference, President Donald Trump urged pregnant women not to take acetaminophen, better known as Tylenol, linking the drug to increasing the risk of autism.
My reaction was definitely one of shock.
Health professionals say this is all misinformation that will force pregnant women to have to make difficult decisions.
My fear is that women may, look and say, well, do I want to risk autism in my baby or do I want to risk something else?
Jordan, a medical student studying physiology and pharmacology, is frustrated.
You can't make big statements without having the evidence to back it up because people will follow just because you're in a position of power.
These small pills are causing a major uproar in the medical community. Now, medical professionals, like ones behind me in the College of Osteopathic Medicine here at Fee Hall, say that it is of the utmost importance that when healthcare misinformation is spread, healthcare professionals talk with the patient to rebuild that trusting relationship as soon as possible.
And it's very hard to get to the heart of the matter and to get to the stage of the patient being able to choose a good treatment plan that is right for them without that trust.
In East Lansing, Michaela Mazza, Focal Point News.
Now, the maker of Tylenol did release a statement following Trump's press conference saying they have not found a link between the drug and autism, but that the best practice is always to consult with a doctor before taking any medication.
And here's more news from the federal level on a change of the price of foreign work visas could reshape the American workforce in the months to come. But what does this mean for international students?
Focal Point's Griffin Mikrovich is live in front of the Lansing Capitol building with the details. Griffin?
Thanks, Ryan and Braden. Guys, we know the Trump administration has been cracking down on illegal immigration ever since their first term with the Build the Wall campaign along our southern border with Mexico. Now we're seeing financial barriers be put in place to prevent skilled workers and special occupations from entering the United States. I reached out to state representatives on both sides of the political spectrum, as well as the Office of International Student Services at MSU, and got no response. So I took to the streets and asked international students for their reactions. Take a look. About 10 days ago, a policy change to the H-1B visa, a document required by companies to sponsor foreign professionals to live in the United States, was introduced, raising the price by 100 times its original cost.
I think before, when you were looking at a $1,000 application fee and you had 2 possibly similar candidates, one that possibly had a bit more of cultural background, who would maybe come from outside the U.S., I think it made a lot of sense to bring someone like that over and have that talent and that, outside knowledge for a $1,000 fine of an application, which obviously is not an issue when it comes to hiring professionals of especially a high level. But obviously raising it to $100,000 makes it where, unless you're talking about an individual who's going to make a difference of millions or tens or hundreds of millions of dollars, it doesn't make sense for a company ever to pay that fee to bring a singular person over.
Leonardo emigrated to the U.S. in high school and now holds legal citizenship. He says if restrictions like these existed when he was younger, he would have never come.
Now that would be 8 years that I went to high school and then went to college, graduated from an American university. Now I work at an American company based out of the U.S.
International students like Sergio España, who come from developing countries, aren't affected by the changes.
There is a lot of job opportunities back home waiting for me. My plan was always to go out, come here to the US and get my professional degree and go back home with that and probably make a good use of what I learned here in the US.
Korea is more harder to get jobs these days. I think Korea people expect more. People come to the States to achieve their maybe American dreams. Now, because of that decision, probably some of them, their dreams are shattered.
With the important role that foreign workers play in growing our economy, we can only speculate what these changes may bring in the future.
And so that's going to put obviously a massive disadvantage to anyone who is needing that visa to work in the US, which obviously gives the upper hand to Americans, but really kind of negates and disencourages any talent or any outsider knowledge that could potentially come to the country.
In East Lansing, I'm Griffin Makrovich, Focal Point News. Now, the decision to increase the price in the H-1B visa is only going to be in effect for the next 12 months. But as I mentioned earlier, only time will tell whether this will be a positive or a negative for the American economy. Braden and Ryan, back to you guys.
Thanks, Griffin. We'll be sure to keep an eye on these policies as they change.
In more news from the federal level, October 1st marked the first day in over 50 years for public media stations across the U.S. to operate without federal funding.
President Trump has signed an executive order in May ordering the Corporation for Public Broadcasting to cease all funding to NPR and PBS. The move directly impacted WKAR, the public media station right here on campus, as they lost $1.6 million in their annual operating budget. Focal Point's Sonia Crone has the latest on the impact of these orders.
Shortly after the Trump administration ordered federal funding cuts to public media, Bailey Maloney lost her job at WKAR.
I go into my boss's office and I sit down with him, and I've worked with him for 3 years. So there's a level of comfortability there. And yeah, he lets me know that they're done with student employees.
And she was not the only one.
And then I check LinkedIn and everyone's posting or updating their jobs.
Not too long ago, the lights in these offices would have been on and you would have seen people working when walking by. But now they're completely empty. Over the summer, WKR eliminated 9 positions, citing university-wide cuts and losses in federal funding.
After all of that, it still left us with about a $500,000 funding gap.
An amount WKR now hopes to raise through donations to support their work in the community.
WKR represents the ability to have access to news and information that allows people to make informed decisions.
You are listening to
For example, the radio reading service, where every day volunteers come in and read the news for blind and visually impaired people.
Sometimes it's their only source of news that they listen to, that they can hear.
That's one of the reasons radio operations manager Brad Walker says WKR is not going anywhere.
People love our station. They love what we do, and it would be a travesty for us to go away.
In East Lansing, I'm Sonia Crone, Focal Point News.
WKAR is hopeful to raise the remaining $500,000 through their Close the Gap campaign by the end of June 2026. Since its launch a few weeks ago, General Manager Sean Turner says the response in the community has been overwhelming.
But Michigan State University layoffs have not been limited to campus communications. Clerical and technical work are also facing changes. Focal Point's Liam Clymer spoke to some MSU officials seeing effects behind the scenes.
Finding crowds of people at the entrance of Potter Park Zoo isn't exactly uncommon.
It's a beautiful day, so you're supporting Michigan all the way around.
But on this fall afternoon, they're coming together for more than just the sights.
My tagline is, we all do better when Michigan State succeeds.
Deb Bittner is the president of the Clerical Technical Union of Michigan State University. She says today's union outing is a show of support for members.
It's free admission, free parking, we have food, we have a gift for everybody in the family.
And well, it is a beautiful day here at Potter Park Zoo. Like my furry friend here will tell you, it's even nicer in the shade. Inside the zoo's Discovery Center, the sense of community is palpable.
It's a really welcoming environment.
Member Drew Hill says the union has held strong through tough times.
The university is changing quite a bit.
What kind of changes?
A lot of cuts.
Hill himself was let go during a round of layoffs. He says the union helped him find a new position.
The guidance of the CT has been, a very transformative type of experience and, obviously for the better for me and my family, and I feel very grateful for them.
For Bittner, working things out with the university,
We're on the same side.
even if it is an uphill battle,
We just may disagree what success looks like and how you get there.
is just part of the job description. In Lansing, Liam Clymer, Focal Point News.
Potter Park is open every day from 10 to 4 with educational and group opportunities available to schedule. But if you can't get your fix of exotic animals there, it's not the only place in Lansing you can turn to.
That's right, Braden. From fish to ferrets, Pruce Pets is more than just a store. It's Lansing's landmark that has been teaching the community about animals for decades. Focal Point's Meg Vandermark visited Old Town this week to see why this family-owned shop is making such a difference.
In the heart of Old Town Lansing, a 3,000-gallon river flows right through the middle of Pruce Pets, a reminder that this isn't your typical pet store.
It was just really like we had come home as a business. Like, this is the place to be.
The family-owned business first opened 40 years ago, and after moving to its Old Town location, it has quickly become a community landmark.
One thing that I wrestle with all the time now is this new Amazon consumer and people not understanding until the very end, when businesses go out, the impact that that's going to have on their community.
The store's outreach doesn't stop at the door. Partnering with local groups like the Constellation Cat Cafe keeps the connection to the community growing.
We partner with Pruce Pets for events and wish list stuff. So Pruce Pets is really active in the community, and we're hoping to be able to help expand that with that.
Inside Pruce, it's all about connecting people with animals. People develop a newfound appreciation for animals like Pancake or Waffle or Hoover. Animals have this tremendous power to teach all of these lessons to not just kids, but I see it switch with adults too, of they go in with all of these preconceived notions, these judgments, and then after they have a positive experience with this animal, they're like, oh, and you develop this newfound appreciation that they may not have had before.
And it's animals like Hoover, who loves a scratch on the head, that show why Pruce is all about education and connection. In Lansing, Meg Vandermark, Focal Point News.
From education programs to partnerships with local groups, Pruce Pets has made itself part of the fabric of Lansing. You can learn more on their website, or better yet, stop in and experience it for yourself.
Thanks, Ryan. We have to take a quick break, but we'll be right back.
Coming up, we'll answer your questions about the constant construction on campus.
And a new resource at MSU, how and where students can access it.
All this and more coming up on Focal Point.
So big for starters, it's 18 of the country's most iconic universities. It's Defend the Rock, Jump Around, and the biggest bass drum on earth big. It's a stadium so big.
They had to name it the Big House. Go Blue.
It's dotting the I big.
Let's go Bucks.
It's all-time leading scorer big. And now that USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington have joined the party, it's feeling real big. Right, Matt?
I'm ready. Fight on. Boys up. Baby.
Let's get it. Go Dogs.
Nah, it's all about the O.
The Big Ten Network. This is big.
Welcome back to Focal Point News.
Earlier this week, what started as a regular Monday escalated to a safety concern in mid-Michigan. Students at Okemos High School were evacuated Monday afternoon after reports of a possible threat.
In a social media post that same day, Okemos Public School Superintendent John J. Hood confirmed that law enforcement found no credible threat to the school. Students were dismissed at their normal release time, and Superintendent Hood confirmed that all students and staff at Okemos High School were safe. He thanked the Meridian Township Police Department for their quick response.
We'll keep you updated as the story develops. Now, turning back to our MSU campus, the construction here might feel a little like a constant, from the recreation center to the sidewalks, and it seems like more developments are happening around every corner. Focal Point's Laura Butlovics has the student perspective.
Michigan State is booming with construction. With the building of a new recreation center, the development of a plant and environmental science building, plans for a brand new engineering and digital innovation center, and the recently completed Campbell Hall renovation, our campus seems to be flourishing.
I am standing in the newly renovated Campbell Hall. This $37 million renovation now serves as the hub for Honor College life. But as we know, this is not the only addition being made to infrastructure on campus, and some students had something to say on the matter.
I actually really enjoy seeing renovations on campus. Last year they rebuilt one of the bridges. So construction is obviously really brutal when you're going through it, but after it's done, it's very much worth it, in my opinion.
I really appreciate the construction that they're doing on campus and the dorms and the rec center, because it has like a huge impact on day-to-day life on campus.
While the construction on campus is overall appreciated by the students, there is a wish for the university to keep the student body in the loop.
I just wish the university was more open to students about how they spend their money in construction.
I was a little alarmed when I heard how much these projects cost. I would kind of want to know what the money specifically went to, how it was divided.
To learn more about resident hall construction, I spoke with the Assistant Vice President for Residence Education and Housing Services.
So the decision to renovate our residence halls was made in 2008 by the Board of Trustees. And so what they did was looked at the overall size of the campus and the number of beds that we had and what the cost would be. We're an auxiliary for the university. And so what that means is that we generate our own dollars. So it comes completely from room and board charges.
Dr. Ray Gasser assures that student voices are heard in the renovation process.
Every project, we consider student voices in the project in terms of the amenities that we have in the building, programmatic decisions that we're making in the building, to kind of support student needs. That's what the game's all about.
From Focal Point News, I'm Laura Butlovics.
For more information on the active construction projects on campus, you can visit the website for Infrastructure, Planning and Facilities, better known as IPF.
The constant construction can definitely add to the stressful experience college students often face. Between classes, homework, and extracurriculars, it can be easy to miss out on a healthy diet, especially those with food insecurity. This year, MSU added a second food bank on campus. This is in addition to the first, which opened in 1993. Here's Focal Point's Jack David with the story.
This is the newest food bank at Michigan State University. But most students don't know this is actually the second food bank on campus.
We have been serving students out of the Olin Health Center.
But adding a second food bank actually helps meet demands. Over the past 5 years, the MSU Food Bank and Basic Needs Program has served approximately 17,000 clients.
The demand has increased. Groceries are more expensive, as you know, and so we have a lot more students seeking services.
The new location also makes sense for student foot traffic.
So just having it in a busier place, I feel like will make it a lot easier for students to know about it now.
Behind me stands the MSU Union. In the basement is where you can find the new MSU Food Bank. And if you're an MSU student, you're in luck, because if you make less than $30,000 a year, which if you're like me, is most students, you can use it on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. The real reason it exists, though, is how it helps MSU students. It helps them preserve their health.
To do anything well, you have to have your baseline health.
And de-stress from a college life that is anything but relaxing.
School is so stressful already with assignments, exams, and other responsibilities. So I feel like having that food bank to fall back on is really relieving for some students.
The food bank is open multiple times throughout the week for students to access it. Here are some of the times that it's open.
The food bank here at the Union is open on Tuesdays from 3 to 8, on Thursdays from 10 to 8, and from Saturdays from 10 to 2.
From Focal Point News, Jack David reporting.
Students do need to set up an appointment to use the food bank, but walk-ins will get a pre-packed bag of emergency food essentials. For more information or to schedule an appointment with the food bank, check out uhw.msu.edu.
This new food bank isn't the only student-run service. With just over 50,000 enrolled, students at MSU, the university hires a large number of them for on-campus employment. Focal Point's Jackie Graham takes a look and finds that with so many positions, some of these jobs might be overlooked.
On Michigan State's bustling campus, there are many opportunities available to students.
I chose this job because I needed to pay off student loans and also pay my rent.
With being an out-of-state student, I was kind of needed that getting ready with financial support for when I needed to move off campus and things like that.
It gives everybody different perspectives. Everybody is working a student job for a different reason.
Whether you're here, or even here, student workers are all around campus making a difference.
I feel that it has positively benefited me because I've been able to make a lot of friends and a lot of connections with people.
I don't have to worry about getting out of class availability and stuff like that, just because obviously they're flexible with it because it's on campus. A lot of people just like working.
There's so many different voices on campus that are helping to bring in student perspective.
And that they do. Therefore, university-wide student workers receive a 3% raise every August.
I haven't been given less hours or anything like that since the wages increase. I haven't really seen it impact anybody else.
I've seen an increase in my pay, which is nice. So I've been able to kind of lessen my hours a little bit to make it a little easier for me to actually do my schoolwork and homework.
These students' impact is priceless and helps to keep the campus together. In East Lansing, I'm Jackie Graham, Focal Point News.
MSU hires over 17,000 students per year. If you are looking for an on-campus job, you can visit sle.msu.edu.
It's weird to talk about on-campus jobs when I step outside and it still feels like summer.
I'm waiting for the day where I can put our winter jackets out of the closet.
Well, thankfully, Focal Point's Amy Cho is over at the weather wall now to show us today's temps and what's in store for the weekend. How's it looking out there, Amy?
Thanks, Braden. Good morning, Spartans, and happy Friday. For those of you wishing for cooler temperatures, you're in luck. But don't put away your t-shirts and shorts quite yet. We still have a few more of those hot summer days before the cooler weather finally kicks in. Let's take a look at our national map starting over here on the west coast. Temperatures today are looking pretty typical for this time of year, with Sacramento at 70 degrees, Los Angeles at 77, and up in Seattle at 66. As we move further in, we're seeing higher temperatures in places like Phoenix at 99 degrees and Denver at 86. Moving on over to the Midwest, we're seeing temperatures are at a little bit higher than what we saw during this time last year, with Minneapolis at 87, Chicago at 85, and a little cooler in Detroit at 82. Moving our way over to the East Coast, we're once again seeing temperatures that are pretty average for this time of year in this region, with New York at 73, Charleston at 80, and a bit cooler up in Portland at 69 degrees. Moving on to our regional map, we're seeing pretty consistent temperatures in the mid and lower 80s throughout the Midwest, with a few exceptions in Green Bay and Chicago at 85, Grand Rapids at 84, and Detroit at 82. We're definitely seeing higher temperatures than we're used to during this time of year, but let's hope this weather sticks around for Halloween. Now let's take a dive into our 7-day outlook here in East Lansing. The rest of today is looking sunny and warm, with highs reaching the mid 80s and cooling back down to the 50s in the evening. The perfect weather for the ISON campout that's taking place tonight on Munn Field. The weekend into Monday is looking very similar, with highs in the 80s and lows in the 60s. Now this is where the good news starts for our cool temperature loving folks, because on Tuesday and all the way throughout the week, the highs will drop to the 60s and the lows will range from the 40s to 50s. Watch out for some potential rain on Tuesday, and make sure to bring an umbrella with you to class or work that day, especially in the morning and afternoon. We're also seeing pretty big differences in the highs and lows throughout the week, so be sure to layer in the morning when it's colder and shed those layers throughout the afternoon when the temperature rises. Even though fall weather hasn't permanently arrived yet, we're seeing temperatures quickly head that way, so soak up the sunshine and warm weather while it lasts. Have a great weekend, Spartans, and Braden, Ryan, back to you.
Thanks, Amy. Well, Braden, it looks like we'll have to hold off on our winter coats for now.
I'm just curious how many more of these warm days are left before those fall temps hit.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Now, climate change is a global issue, but sometimes the most powerful messages come from the stage. At Michigan State University, performers and organizers are using theater to bring awareness to the climate crisis in creative ways. Gabriel Klein has the story.
This is a worldwide festival targeting climate change. It's celebrating its 10th year anniversary.
Yeah, so we're putting on a Climate Change Theater Festival, which is an event where we're telling the stories of the climate crisis. It's part of a broader global effort called Climate Change Theater Action, or CCTA. And the goal of CCTA is to take this big, scary idea of climate change and tell the stories about it within 5-minute plays in ways that people can really connect with. When we usually tell the stories of the climate crisis, it's with these doom and gloom news stories, which are true, but we need better ways to tell these stories and connect them to local communities. And that's what we're doing here today, of connecting these stories of 5-minute plays with local environmental groups who are coming and tabling and speaking at this event and connecting our audiences to local climate action.
The aim is to show people the effects of climate change in a way that is anything but traditional.
Stumbling, I feel my way toward home, find it inside, though far I roam.
What a handsome creature! Look at the ice.
Daniel was one of the performers. He recognizes the importance of the festival's theme, The Time Is Now.
I feel a lot of people tend to, when they think about climate change, it's like, oh, it's like, we'll figure it out later, But really, it's important to do stuff now for it because, we want to lessen the burden for, other people like the younger generation when they, when we're gone and in retirement homes, they're going to have to deal with it also.
It's also finding and building community, reminding each other that we're not alone in this fight against climate change, and that there are other people, like-minded people, who believe in this cause, and to continue to renew our focus and our fight in this effort.
In East Lansing, I'm Gabriel Klein, Focal Point News.
This Climate Change Theater Festival is part of a worldwide effort happening on college campuses across the globe. Organizers say they hope events like this inspire communities to take local action against climate change.
Now we have to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere.
When we come back, students and professors share their love for film.
A music festival celebrates decades of local music.
And speaking of entertainment, a report on the up and down week for MSU athletics. This and more coming up on Focal Point.
Okay.
Proudly resting on the shoulders of Trojans, Spartans, Knights, and other warriors, steeped in history, but focused on the future. Inspiring the belief that this year could be the year. Weathering any storm, hitting like thunder, moving like lightning. Proudly boasting battle scars and badges of achievement. Colors changing like the seasons, unifying in purpose. Unstoppable force meets immovable object, rising high to victory, enduring chasms of defeat, and if the gridiron planets align, reaching the summit and being crowned legends forever. So come on, strap in, ball out, and fan up, because this is big.
Welcome back to Focal Point.
Ryan, what movie should I watch tonight? You always have good recommendations.
Well, I'm not sure if now's the right time to talk about movie recs, but it is a perfect time to discuss film community. Movies can be a great source of entertainment, community, and discourse. At Michigan State's Film Collective, this has never been more true. As various films are screened every week at Wells Hall, I had the privilege of attending a screening to see the larger picture.
It is meant to bring people together where we can have that experience of cinema, of that collectivity together.
Farzana is among several PhD students and professors in the Film Studies department who help run Michigan State's Film Collective. Running as a class and public screening for 20 years, they meet every Thursday at 7 p.m.
I think it's great to see films that otherwise wouldn't be available. When I was at school at Yale for my advanced degrees, they had 3 different film series, and I had a chance to see a lot of classic films, foreign films, and so forth that I had never been available to me before. And I think that this does the same thing.
Professors and PhD students curate and screen films weekly based on a semesterly theme with films ranging from all periods, genres, and nationalities. This semester being slow cinema, films such as Stalker by Andrei Tarkovsky and more recently Jean Dielman by Chantal Ackerman are screened.
Jean Dielman is meant to be experienced within that, a space of the cinema with other people and just sit within every minute of the film and experience what the character is doing and feeling there.
Once the film is finished, a group discussion opens up where audience members are able to project their opinions on the film, bonding over their love of film and community.
In East Lansing, Ryan Morris, Focal Point News.
Film Collective meets every Thursdays at 7 p.m. at Wells Hall. For more info, go to the Film Studies Department's website.
The only thing that would be as entertaining as a film collective is a music festival. Music filled Lansing's Rotary Park for the 10th anniversary of the Dam Jam Music Festival. The nonprofit festival is all about highlighting local artists, and this year's milestone came with a new chapter of leadership. Focal Point's Brooklyn Birchulk attended Dam Jam to see how it has grown into more than just a festival.
For 10 years, the sounds of Dam Jam have filled Lansing's riverfront. Not just with music, but with the voices of local artists taking center stage.
What this event means to me as a local artist, it just gives us an opportunity to express our creativity, express and do what we love. I love to sing, so being able to showcase that to everybody and just share my gifts with everyone has definitely been a pleasure.
And as the festival celebrates a decade of local music, it's also the beginning of a new chapter, with Lansing 501 appointing its first full-time president. Samantha Harkins, the former deputy mayor of Lansing, is taking the lead of the nonprofit behind the Dam Jam Festival.
The opportunity to talk about why it's so great, to celebrate this community every day and try to get other people to come here and stay here it's what I do for fun. And so to actually do it as my job, like what a great thing to get to do. And we are cool and we're quirky and we're interesting, and like our live music scene showcases all of that.
The focus of Dam Jam goes beyond just live music. It's a chance to highlight local talents while bringing the Lansing community together.
It was good, clean fun, and that's always an amazing thing to have events where there's not a bunch of trouble and people can just get along and enjoy their music. And I love music. Like, music is life. So
we're 1 decade into Dam Jam. Next year we'll be back at the Fish Ladder. That space is, you haven't seen it yet, it's spectacular, it's so interesting. And so we're going to have this unique performance venue. We're going to be able to bring live music to that cool venue, celebrate another great Lansing neighborhood. And I think it's just, the opportunities are endless. And I think combined with our other programs that we're building and partnerships with Michigan State and with other employer partners, I think it's really just a great time to talk about Lansing and celebrate Lansing.
With a decade behind it and new leadership ahead, Dam Jam is set to continue to shine a spotlight on Lansing's local talent. In East Lansing, I'm Brooklyn Burschel, Focal Point News.
Lansing 501 hosts nearly 20 events a year, and next summer's festival will take place at the Fish Ladder Music Park. You can find more details at lansing501.com.
Lots of entertainment for this week in our Mid-Michigan community: movie, music, and Spartan sports.
It was rivalry week here in East Lansing as Michigan State squared off against Michigan in a few different matchups. To tell us about how it unfolded is Focal Point's Jackie Graham over in the Spartan newsroom. Jackie?
Thanks, Ryan and Braden. It was a busy weekend for Michigan State athletics, and like you said, it was full of rivalry.
Starting off with men's soccer, they had a successful week. The Spartans started their winning streak facing the number 3 ranked Indian Hoosiers with 17 fouls in the first half and only 4 shot attempts. The physical focused half ended 0-0. Shortly after the second half, MSU took the lead when freshman midfielder Peter Sudan scored the first goal. Alongside Sudan, senior goalkeeper Zach Kelly was lights out with an essential save in the final minute. He earned his 8th shutout, giving him a total of 15 in his career. The Spartans took the win with a score of 1-0. Later that week, the Green and White faced number 5 rival Michigan in Ann Arbor. After a slow first half that ended 0-0, the second half opened up with Sudan being fouled in the penalty box. Junior midfielder Miles Merritt took the penalty shot and drilled the ball straight into the bottom corner of the net, bringing the score 1-0. The Wolverines struck back with their own goal, but that wasn't enough as junior forward Richie Ludwig scored MSU's second goal and winning the game for the Spartans. The men's soccer team defeated 2 top 5 teams in a row for the first time. The Spartans play again tonight in East Lansing at 5 p.m. against Penn State. Now taking a look at women's sports, our women's volleyball team played number 10 ranked Minnesota last week. And although the Spartans fought hard, they did not secure the win. The Golden Gophers swept the Spartans 3-0, receiving their first loss of the 2025 season. The Spartans kept their heads held high as they faced Michigan in the battle at the Breslin with an attendance of over 5,000 people. The match started off back and forth until redshirt freshman setter Malaya Long set senior opposite hitter Eva Duzeman with a kill, leading the Spartans into a 8-3 run. Duzeman finished off the set with a piercing hit straight to the back, bringing the end score to 25-4. The Green and White started the second set off 6-0, led by freshman outside hitter Bianca Mumschlar. After leading 15 kills, Michigan came back, bringing the third set to a tie of 16-16. Michigan's Morgan Burke aced the Spartans. Mumschlar countered with 9 kills, securing the win in the second set. The Spartans claimed the third set 25-21, winning straight sets and claiming the win. Women's volleyball will play against Northwestern tonight at 8 p.m. in East Lansing. From the court to the diamond, the women's softball team hosted a fall ball doubleheader against Northwood University. A lot of new change ahead as head coach Sharonda McDonald Kelly goes into her 4th season with the Spartans. Kelly and assistant coaches brought in 12 new players, 7 of those being freshmen. Sophomore and right-hand pitcher J.C. Schuler looked strong following last season when Schuler only gave up 53 earned runs in 93 innings. Alongside Schuler, sophomore right-hand pitcher Carson Cassidy looks promising for the upcoming season, as she had 41 strikeouts in 64 2/3 innings last year. And our last bit of Spartan sports action tonight, our men's ice hockey team hosts their exhibition game against the University of Windsor at 6 p.m. This will be a telling first look at Adam Nightingale's squad. That's all I have for you this week for Focal Point Sports. Now back to Braden and Ryan in the studio.
Thanks for keeping us up to date on our Spartans athletics this week, Jackie.
If you're planning on going to any games, then you better get some Michigan State merch.
And what better way to buy some Michigan State merch than to get it secondhand? With the rising popularity of vintage clothing, a new vintage store has opened in East Lansing. Focal Point's Amy Cho explores how better-aged MSU differs from its competition.
Austin Daggett is no stranger to vintage clothes. In fact, he's been selling them for 15 years.
I've always been into clothing and always into older things. I feel like older things are more unique, they're better made.
Jackets, jeans, and hats are just a few of the many items sold at Better Aged MSU.
Hey, welcome in, you guys.
Sitting just beneath Pattaya, Daggett's store has already attracted MSU students like Katai Thurston.
I've always seen it and I was like, I just want to go in there one day.
Better Aged MSU isn't the first vintage store to take on downtown East Lansing. But one thing sets them apart.
The quality of the curation. I've been doing it for half my life, so I just know what people want at this point.
Employee Jacob Thomas says their many clothing options adds to the store's success.
The variety of the clothes that we have different stuff for everybody.
Their prices also makes the store especially appealing to students.
The pricing here is good. Like I saw like a varsity jacket for $45.
Daggett believes what his store offers can't be found anywhere else.
Once you get that piece, you're the only person that gets to buy it, and then there's not a copy of it.
Only 1 month in since its grand opening, better-aged MSU seems to have already made its mark. In East Lansing, Amy Cho, Focal Point News.
Daggett says he hopes to continue to provide one-of-a-kind vintage clothing for the community.
You think they have any hiking gear there?
I'm not sure. Why?
Because this week I had the chance to get out of the city and into the great outdoors. I tagged along with a certain stewardship group working to better the environment in Meridian Township. Take a look. Just about every other Thursday.
We're from Meridian Township's Parks and Rec Department,
It could be anywhere in Meridian Township.
leading the Meridian Conservation Corps today.
These volunteers are busy getting their hands dirty,
Today we'll be focusing on native seed collecting.
while many others are at work in the office. They call themselves the Weekday Warriors. What separates them from everyone else working on a Thursday afternoon is that their office could be described as nothing short of breathtaking. The task at hand might not leave most with shortness of breath, but for Bruce Peffers,
Been volunteering with the MCC for years now, probably five years.
it's work that's not just important to them,
I think it's necessary if we want to restore these properties to the way they used to be, which is the goal, I guess, of the whole preserve program.
but to the environment around the township. What they reap in one place,
We're collecting native seeds in order to add them to our seed bank,
they'll sow in another.
and then we're going to incorporate them into our ecosystem restoration projects that we have around the township and our various parks and preserves. That will hopefully help from keeping more plant species from ending up on the endangered or special concern list.
Whether they're young
I've been working for Meridian Township for a year and a half.
or a little less young.
Well, I have a degree in, or a couple of degrees actually, in fisheries. So, but I'm retired now, so it's just one of the things I do to keep busy and get outside and enjoy the outside.
The common denominator is plain and simple appreciation.
Yeah, just get outside, put your screens away, and enjoy the stuff that's outside here.
In Okemos, I'm Braden Willis, Focal Point News. If you're interested in joining the Weekday Warriors, they're always taking new volunteers at meridian.mi.us. No experience required.
You'll need the hiking gear after all.
That's all we have for you this week on Focal Point News. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us.
We'll see you next week with more stories that matter. The MSU campus, the state capitol, and beyond. Have a great weekend, Spartans.